All right, guys, welcome to Advanced Real Estate Objection Handling. For those of you that are here live, thank you for taking the time to out of your day to come and get on this training. For those of you that are catching this on the replay, you're going to be catching this on YouTube. So if you want to be notified of any future trainings, just click the subscribe button and the bell to be alerted. In fact, those of you that are on here live, my goal is to get this down and get it uploaded onto YouTube, and we'll send out the replay a little bit later. So in today's training, we're going to go over 3 different objections. So number 1 is, if I list my home with you and I buy my next one from you, will you reduce your commission? Okay, guys, that's a very common objection when it's coming up with people who are actually looking to sell then buy. So I'm going to talk to you about how you can rebuttal that. Number 2, I'm going to use the agent that we purchased the home from, right? I mean, that's a common objection. If you're actually talking to people who are in the process of wanting to sell their home and they bought the home from another real estate agent and that real estate agent stays in front of them, then they may want to show some loyalty and use them. So that's fine, but I'm going to talk to you about I'm going to share with you guys a rebuttal on how to do that. And then the third one, we're going to finish up. I've seen this marketing plan before. You know, what makes yours so different? What makes you so different? Okay, guys, there's only so much that we can do to sell homes. So we're going to talk about how to rebuttal that. So I'm going to jump into a little bit what I call the rebuttal formula. Now, this is a formula that I developed over time, and it's really just the structure of how to respond to somebody if, in fact, you get an objection, if, in fact, you get a question. You see, the truth of the matter is the person who has the confidence and can rebuttal something with clarity is typically going to be the one who is the most skilled, right? So that's why we do this practice. So objection handling, rebuttals, and responding isn't just words, right? Words are the punches and kicks. They're the fundamentals, but it's the way that you put them together what really matters. So this rebuttal formula that I devised, it is going to, this will work on any objection, any question. I'm going to give it a 95% efficacy rate. Okay, so the rebuttal formula, this is how it goes. Number 1, acknowledge. You have to acknowledge what they had just said to you. Number 2 is you have to approve, make them feel that they're right. Number 3, you have to embed a softener. And then number 4, you need to ask a question. Okay, because the person who always controls the conversation always asks the questions. If you're not asking the questions, then you're not controlling the conversation. You're on the defense. Okay, and in sales, you always want to be in control of the in control of the conversation, but you don't want to make it feel like you're draconian, right? You want to make sure the things that I work with you guys on, the rebuttals that I share with you, it's all a part of conversation selling. Okay, it's not straight to the, straight for the throat. Okay, but this is what I'm going to do. The next 3 objections that we're going to do is going to follow this process of acknowledge, approve, softener, ask. Okay, so let's go back to the next objection. Okay, so this objection is, if I list my home with you and I buy my next home from you, will you reduce your commission? Now, guys, this is actually a business question, right? Now, has there ever been a time where you guys are going to go look and buy something and you're going to do something and you want a deal, right? If you're going to be giving 2 times the volume, you're going to want a deal, right? So you can't fault somebody for saying the same thing, right? But here's what we need to do. We need to, let me get rid of this screen over here. So, well, that's my phone. Let me turn that off. So we need to make sure that we're following this same thing: acknowledge, approval, softener, ask. So acknowledging, okay? So Mr. and Ms. Seller, now, number 1, you can rephrase what they said as a question. Will I reduce my commission? But acknowledging it is, so Mr. and Mrs. Seller, your proposal is that if I list and sell your home, this one, and then I go out and I help you find, write an offer, and buy the next one, that you would like to have a reduced commission. Am I understanding this correctly? Yes, Brett, you are understanding this correctly. Okay, so I acknowledged it, right? All I did is just repeat exactly what they said, but in the frame of a question, just to make sure that I could clarify what did they said. Okay, so Mr. Maselli, I totally get that you want to maximize how much you net on this home. In fact, most homeowners want to net the most money and sell their home in the reduced amount of time. Is that your case? Okay, so what I did there, guys, is I grouped it into most homeowners, and I did what's called a level shift. Okay, the objection was, or the statement was, that I want you to reduce your commission. Okay, that if I'm going to give you these two deals, I want you to reduce the commission. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to clarify, and I wanted to make it sound a little bit more serious. Like, are you seriously asking me this question? Kind of serious. So, but the approval part was, most homeowners want to net the most money for the sale of their home, and they want to put the most money in their pocket. Is that true for you? Right? So it was an issue about commission, but I shifted it into an issue about wanting to net the most money, right? Because when you're talking about commissions, when you're talking about the fee for services, typically what happens is the lowest, the person who races to zero the fastest is the one who's going to win. And we don't want to do that, right? We don't want to race to zero. We don't even want to be a contender for that. Had to close that window. So the last part is that we're going to do a softener. Okay, a softener is just a lead in to soften the next thing that you're going to say. Okay, so so let's start from the top. The objection is, if I sell my home with you and I buy the next home with you, you'll reduce the commission. So I'm like, just so I understand the proposal, what you're saying is that if I put time and effort and resources into listing your home and selling your home for top dollar in the quickest amount of time, and then I help you go and locate a home, find a home, show a home, and then buy a home, you're wondering if I would reduce the amount of commission that I'm charging. Does that sound correct to you? Yeah, Brett, that's exactly what we're saying. Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I totally get that you want to maximize the amount of money that you keep in your pocket. I do. However, if you don't mind me asking, given the amount of work that goes into both listing and marketing and selling your property, and then the amount of work to help you find and show the property and buy the next one, what would you propose would be a fair agreement as far as commission's concerned? Okay, so guys, I don't want to debate with them. I don't want to negotiate with them on price. I want them to bring up the number, right? And notice how I use the language of being fair. I mean, think about this. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody accused you of not being fair? Even if they didn't accuse you for being fair, but the fact that it was brought up that they want to be fair could very well make you think subconsciously, oh my God, am I not being fair? Right? I think most people on planet Earth want to be fair. I mean, there's probably, a few people on the planet that like being unfair. I mean, they get around a lot, but it doesn't happen a whole lot of times. But you want to really tie the commission structure into being fair. And quite honestly, I hope that everybody does want to be fair, right? You don't want to gouge people. You don't want to get that reputation. So the key here is, what is it that, given the amount of time, effort, and resources that I put into this in selling a home, and given the time, effort, and resources that I put into this, that's a lot of work. I feel that I'm charging a fair rate of commission, but what is it that you feel would be fair? What do you propose? Find out where their head's at. Now, if they come back to you and say, look, you're going to get, probably 3% on the sale and another 3%, I want you to do it for one. Okay. So that's where your conversation needs to stop, because they're on a different planet, right? So, but that's how we would handle if I list my home with you and I buy the next one from you, will you reach commission? With that said, don't be so hardcore that you're going to lose the deal, okay? Give something. You don't have to give on the commission. What you could do is put a performance guarantee in on it, right? I'll tell you what I'll do. If I don't have your home sold within the next 30 days, I'm going to charge you a 6% commission to sell your home. That's 3% and 3%. If I don't sell your home with an offer that's acceptable to you under the terms that we talked about, then and it's not in escrow or under contract within the next 30 days, then I will reduce my commission. Okay, that's one way to do it. You definitely don't want to give them a reduction on the listing side of the house, because we don't know if they're still going to buy a house. There's a lot of things that could happen that could cause them not to buy a house. So you could actually say, look, I'm going to charge you a full fee on the listing side. On the buyer side, I'll give you a deal, but don't reduce your listing side of the commission. If you're going to make a deal on the buyer side. Do your best to try not to make a deal. Make a deal by making them understand the value that you bring to the process. All right, guys. Okay, so in this objection, it's going to be, I'm going to use the agent that we purchased the home from. Okay, so number one, don't get offended. Number two, don't go on the defense on this. This is exactly what we do by working with people on developing their database to stay in front of their past client and sphere of influence and build loyalty around that, right? But that doesn't mean that if you get in front of somebody that you shouldn't take a swing at it and try to convince them to evaluate what it is that you do get homes. Okay, so we're going to follow the same procedure. We're going to follow the rebuttal formula. We're going to acknowledge, we're going to approve, we're going to do a softener, and then we're going to ask. Okay, because remember, the person who asks the questions always controls the conversation. So acknowledging it. Okay, I'm going to use the same agent that we purchased the home from. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, so have you already, so you've already listed your home with John Doe? Well, no. Okay. Notice what I did there. I did what's called a label. They told me that they're going to list with the agent that they purchased from. I don't want to ask the question, oh, so have you already signed the contract? That's pretty intrusive, right? And depending on where you're at within the conversation and depending on your rapport with that seller, is that really it's none of your business and you don't have that rapport yet to actually ask such a direct question, right? A lot of people do. I don't vote for it. So what I would do is I'm just going to label it. It's more of a reverse label. And I'm just going to say, oh, okay, so you already signed the contract with your other agent. You're good to go. Most people, if it's something that's not accurate information, they're like, no. I mean, we haven't signed it yet, but we're just, we've known this person for a long time. They sold us the house and we're just going to use them. Okay. Oh, okay. So I get it. So look, Mr. and Ms. Seller, most homeowners want to work with somebody that they know and trust. They also want to choose the right agent who has the market knowledge and experience and proven track record to get their home sold for the most money in the quickest amount of time. Is that true for you guys as well? So look what I did there, guys. This background, I level shifted that, right? I went into it. First of all, I set the softener. While most homeowners want to work with someone who they know and trust. Okay, so I turned that around from they're going to use the same agent. I'm like, look, I totally get it. Most people want to work with people who they already know and trust. However, they also want to work with people who have the market knowledge and the experience and the proven track record to help them get the most money in the quickest amount of time. Is that true for you? See, it went from we just want to work with the person we bought the home from, and now you've shifted the conversation into not just working with someone who they know and trust, but work with somebody who has the credentials to get their home sold for the most money in the quickest amount of time, which in my experience is probably the most important thing that people want when they're selling their home. Okay. Well, yeah, that's exactly what we're looking to do. Okay. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you don't mind me asking, right? If you don't mind me, you might mind if I'm asking, but because I'm saying if you don't mind me asking, or you could throw in something else. Look, so while we're talking about it, so Mr. Seller, while we're talking about it, okay, that's a softener. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, so while I have you on the phone, okay, doesn't really have to be anything. Hey, okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Seller, because it's December, if you don't mind me asking, it doesn't really matter what you say. You just have to throw a softener in on that. I typically use, if you don't mind me asking. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you don't mind me asking, if I could show you, notice how I paused, right? Strategic pauses create drama. If I could show you a significant advantage, a significant financial advantage on what I do to sell homes, and you felt confident that I could both net you more money in a faster amount of time, would you at least be open to just seeing what I do? Would you at least be open to hear about it? Would you at least be open just to take a look at it? Okay. I'm not saying, will you do this? What I'm saying is that, look, if I have this magical system that could help you increase your cash supply by this in a time frame like this, would you at least be open to taking a look at it? Well, yeah, I guess we would at least be, interested in taking a look at it. But, it's going to have to be pretty good. I mean, because, the agent that we've worked with has been around for a long time and so. Hey, I totally get it. And we'll follow the process. Most homeowners want to make sure that they're working with the right agent, right? One who has the experience, one who has the market knowledge, one who has a proven track record. I totally get it. I would not expect you to choose out of multiple agents. I would expect all homeowners to choose the best agent for the job of selling their home. Notice how I did that. I reaffirmed that they want to choose the best agent for selling their home. Look, their relationship with them, their trust with them, their background, all things being equal, they're going to win, right? Our goal here is to at least get you a swing at the ball. Okay. All right, guys. So that's that's how to rebuttal. I'm going to use the agent that we purchased the home from. Okay. And the final one for today. I've seen this marketing plan before. What makes yours so different? Now think about this, guys. And I'm going to tie this into the rebuttal. Again, we're going to follow the same process: acknowledge, approve, softener, and ask. Okay. So, but let's dive into this. Let's dive into this question. Okay. I've seen this marketing plan before. What makes yours so different? Okay. So you can sell a house. I can sell a house. The majority of all homes on the MLS, that go through the MLS. So there's only so much you can do to get a home sold. So what we want to do is we want to shift out of this. We want to do a level shift out of this. We don't want to talk to them on the comparisons of a marketing plan, because even the most diverse marketing plans are pretty much 99% the same, right? So we don't want to go tit for tat. We want to make sure that our marketing plan has the most is strong. We definitely don't want you to go into with a weak marketing plan. You have a one-page, sheet for a marketing plan, and you go and show it to them, and it just says, "Put home on MLS." Right? If that's your only marketing plan, you need to work on it. But and they've seen that one before. So you want to acknowledge what they just said. I totally get the marketing. Mr. and Ms. Seller, I totally get that the marketing plan looks the same. In fact, there's only so much you can do to be honest with you, there's only so much you can do to get a home sold. Now I'm going to approve, right? I'm going to bunch them in. But most homeowners that I speak with, they don't want just to have a marketing plan that's designed, that has a proven track record to get the home sold. What they're really looking for is to find an agent that has the market knowledge and the experience and the proven track record of getting homes sold for the most money in the quickest amount of time. Now, if you don't mind me asking, you could actually throw in a question on that, right? So is that true for you? Yes, that's true for me. Okay, so if you don't mind me asking, what is it that you're specifically looking for in the quality of the agent with exception to the marketing plan? Well, Brett, what do you mean? Okay, would you like to work with a new agent, or would you want to work with somebody? You're going to put your biggest asset, most people's biggest asset, into the hands of a newbie? No. We want an experienced agent. Okay, what about market knowledge? I've literally sold hundreds of properties in this exact area. I mean, do you want somebody who knows the market as well as I do, or do you want somebody who lives in Los Angeles who's just coming down here for a commission? I mean, what would be best in your ideal agent? Well, no, we definitely want someone with market knowledge. Okay, so what about experience? I mean, do you want somebody who's going to practice their first 1 or 2 transactions on your transaction, or do you want somebody who has a track record, who's literally sold over 1,000 homes and done 1,000 contracts in their span of their career? No, we definitely want to have that. Okay, so would it make sense? Would you be open to meeting with me so I can share with you not just the marketing plan I use and the differences in the marketing plan, but the specific experience, the market knowledge, and proven track record that I have? Would you be at least open to hearing what I have to say and meeting with me sometime this week for 30 minutes? Would you be open to that? Well, yeah, I guess we might be open to that, right? Most people, guys, on all of these objections, okay, we went through 3 objections. If I list my home with you and I buy my next one from you, will you reduce your commission? The next one was, I'm going to use the agent that we purchased the home from. And then the third one was this: I've seen the market plan before. What makes you so different? Most people, when they get that objection, they're not going to know how to rebuttal it, right? They're not going to know how to shift that into a conversation. If you're not having a conversation, if you're not asking questions, you're going to lose 100 out of 100 times, right? Hey, Brett, I've seen this marketing plan before. What makes yours so different? Gosh, it's a great question. It's not different. Okay, thanks. We're going to use the person that I've already chosen. Okay, or right. So you got to practice these. So with that, guys, it is 8:55. So for those of you that are in the role-playing group, this gets you time to go and get prepared for your next role-playing session. For those of you that are just here for the training and you're not familiar with the real estate role-playing group, it is a North American role-playing group where we team you up with partners each and every day, Monday through Friday, with both your scripts and your objection handling and your listing presentation. So if you're interested in having a reliable source of partners, then go over to realestateroleplaying.com. But with that, I appreciate all of you guys that showed up live, and I appreciate the ones who are catching the replay, and I'll see you guys on the next training. Take care.